With the release of every Hearthstone expansion, there's a period of time where cards are unveiled, and the first thing us loyal citizens of the internet do is judge them. And with every expansion, there are a few cards that people misjudge. I would love to make a consolidated list of the major cards from Boomsday that were incorrectly analyzed in this manner. However, I can't. Not yet, anyways. I pride myself on transparent communication because it prevents me from looking like a hypocrite. I too gave analyses when Boomsday cards were released, and like many, I was sometimes inaccurate. I want to judge others' incorrect assertions, but to do so when I myself was incorrect would appear short-sighted at best and unnecessarily toxic at worst. So here's my solution. I will criticize myself. I feel that it is very important to hold myself to this standard, because doing so both encourages me to improve and gives you, the audience, faith that I will always strive to be accurate. So without further ado, let's get started. This is the top 5 Boomsday cards that I, the penniless player, misrated. Cosmic Anomaly. Those who have watched my Boomsday card reviews know that I was very skeptical of Mage's spell damage package. And while Unexpected Results doesn't fit into decks, as I expected, and Celestial Emissary is the weakest card in Tempo Mage, as I sorta expected, I got cocky with the Anomaly. The funny thing is, I was right on the nose when it came to my analysis, comparing it to Evolved Kobold and detailing how it best works, but I gave it a low rating anyways. My hubris got the better of me, and I assumed that with the other 2 cards failing that this would be similar. Cosmic Anomaly notably covers a design space that's somewhat untouched, spell damage plus 2. Failing to acknowledge that, as well as how its stats can allow it to push decently for tempo, is what caused me to underestimate the card on a whole. Its association with these other cards that I had it out for certainly didn't help. It was a minor oversight, but one that I had regardless, so on the list this card is. Flark's boom-zooka. First revealed in the stream leading up to Boomsday's release, this card was used in devastating conjunction with large Death Rattle minions. I was immediately enthralled and convinced that this card had power behind it. However, I became too focused on the prized and ignored the steps necessary to get there. A deck that could adequately utilize this card's swing potential would require all of its minions to be large Death Rattle minions. This makes the deck necessarily top-heavy and slow, which Hunter is not equipped to support. Plus, drawing those cards early is a problem with no clear solution. Even if this deck could be built, this card would only work in that deck, and certain matchups would prove impossible. If the opponent doesn't keep a board or uses token minions, good luck beating that. My over-optimism eventually faded and I saw this for what it was, but by then I had already advocated for its strength. Shame upon me and my excitement. Giggling Inventor. This card's potential to slow the game down and delay opponents was very obvious, and initially made me think of the spell Blizzard. Slightly less damage, but still the potential to stop opponents. However, that comparison leaves out so much more that this card can do. On an empty board, this minion still spawns 4 attack worth of tempo. Not bad. The stickiness of the Annoyatrons also shouldn't be underestimated, since it prevents board clears from working. Put all that together with mech synergies, and we have a 5-mana card that, once it's played, is nearly guaranteed to have a positive effect, either defending minions, preventing face damage, or paving the way to the opponent's destruction. I saw none of this. I saw small bodies that cost a lot to put out that would eventually get shredded. And while that often is what Giggling Inventor does, the potential for it to do other things and the difficulty to counter it makes it incredibly strong. Tech cards that beat this exist, but the fact that those are employed at all only further advocates for this card's strength. Shame upon me, again, and my inability to recognize this strength. Prismatic Lens. Similar to boom-zooka, I saw great potential for this card. Reducing a minion to 1 mana with a secret, or changing a Dynasize to a lower cost, surely this card would fit in a mid-range combo strategy, better than the likes of Dream Petal Florist. The fact that I actually thought that this was better than Dream Petal Florist goes to show that I really need to rethink how mana reduction works. Think seriously about this for a moment. Would you put this card into a Malygos deck? In hindsight, it doesn't seem like you would. The hurdles necessary to build such a deck are simply too extreme. Malygos decks have enough of those limitations. And if this card doesn't work in a deck that adores mana reduction, then why would it work in a different deck that doesn't? It's true that I only barely overrated this card. It seems odd that this is my number 2 when I was more incorrect about the boom-zooka. But the thing is, in the back of my mind I knew boom-zooka only had a small chance of success, while I sincerely thought Prismatic Lens would swing new cards to relevance. It's weird, but I have more embarrassment overestimating this average card than I do overestimating that bad one. Hence, this card is exactly where it should be on this list. War Gear. Oh dear, this was an embarrassment. Being one of the earliest magnetic cards revealed, I was convinced this card was going to be a failure. Too slow, too circumstantial, just like the card I compared it to, Demon Heart. God, that entire argument was completely flawed. Demon Heart hasn't seen play, true, but that's because there isn't an aggressive deck that ubiquitously runs demons, much less demons that can stick on the field. Mechs, on the other hand, they get stronger the more there are, and they can definitely stick. End result, War Gear is as strong as Demon Heart and slightly easier to use. And on top of that, a 5-mana 5/5 isn't great, but certainly isn't useless. I owe Demon Heart an apology. It's fine as a card, it just never had the support it required. War Gear, meanwhile, I owe a new rating. Are you using an aggressive mech deck? Include this card, and forget about that time I said it wouldn't be able to get the job done. Here's most of what else I felt I misrated. Omega Defender. If you're pushing for the board once you hit 10 mana crystals, your plan should probably be more complex than just a 4 mana 12/6. Still good in Arena though, where that plan actually works. Supercollider. Turns out if you don't run many weapons, this card can just hang around until the user is ready to swing. Very strong for control. Kangor's Endless Army. It's complicated, but I both overestimated and oversimplified this card. I'll update my system in the future to account for cards like this, N'Zoth, and a few others. And then there were all of these. Some were judgment lapses, and others were flaws in my rating system that I plan to update. Next expansion. Did I miss any cards I misjudged? Do you have any other thoughts? Leave a comment and let me know. Tune in next week when I instead look at the mistakes of others. See you all next time.